Students, today we will see the next interesting topic in the earthquake engineering, that is the base isolation of the structure. Okay, so basically, if you see the earthquake protective system, it is divided into three major parts. First is passive protective system, second is hybrid system, and third is active protective systems. So under passive protective systems, the three parts can be divided. First is tune mass damper, second is energy dissipation, and third is base isolation. So basically, tune mass damper, this type of the protective system is applicable for the chimney, okay, and the water tanks types of structures, whereas energy dissipations can be applicable for the dams and spillways, okay. And the last one, that is a base isolation, that is the main topic which we will cover in this PPT today, is applicable for the buildings, okay. So let us concentrate on the base isolations, okay. Now next is the active, that is where isolations and the energy dissipations devices are powered to provide the optimal performance, and passive protective system is a base isolations which falls into this category of a passive energy dissipations, and it includes the in structure damping. So in structure damping adds the damping devices within the structure to dissipate the energy but does not permit the base movement, okay. So next is the very important part, that is a definition of base isolations. So this theory questions is always asked in your examinations: what is base isolations, what is the necessity of base isolation, what are the applications and types, okay. So we will see step by step. So first is the basic of base isolations. So it is a systems that may be defined as a flexible or sliding interface position between a structure and its foundations, okay. So if you consider a building, okay, so we will start constructing the building right from the foundation to the top story. So it is the part which will be provided between the foundation and the substructure, that is a superstructure plinth, okay. So it is a flexible or sliding interface position between the structure and its a foundation for the purpose of decoupling the horizontal motion of the from the horizontal motion of the structure, so thereby reducing the earthquake damages to the structures, okay. So the concept of separation the structure from the ground is to avoid the earthquake damages, quite simple to grasp. After all, in an earthquake, the ground move, and it is a ground movement which causes the most of the damages to the structures, okay. So an airplane flying over an earthquake is not affected. So the principle is simple: separate the structure from the ground and the ground will move but building will not move. So this is the basic principle of the base isolation. Next is how can the structure can be separated from the ground for an earthquake load but still resist the gravity. So this is a big question. So let us see. The ideal separation would be total, perhaps an air gap, frictionless roller, well-oiled sliding surface, sky hooks, magnetic leviations, okay. These are the some of the solution for that, and these all have been a practical restraint. But an air gap would not be provided vertical support, and a sky hook need to be hang from something, and frictionless roller is also a good option. Sliders, magnetic leviation would allow the building to move or block under the gust of wind. Then the principle of base isolation. The fundamental principle of base isolation is to modify the response of the building so that the ground can move below the building without transmitting these motion into the building. So this is the basic principle. So this is the example: isolation of from the ground, okay, by balloon or by the magnetic forces. So in base isolation, the second diagram is applicable, okay. So this is a seismic isolation introduction. Roller can be provided, slider can be provided, frictionless. Okay, so these are the some of the example. Restoring forces. Then this is a damping system. Now, requirement of base isolation devices. So this is the most important part, that one must understand that what are the basic requirement for the base isolation. No, it cannot be applicable for all types of buildings. Okay, there are some limitations there. Based on that, okay, base isolation can be applicable. So isolating the building from the ground, the first most important part is there. Then supporting the weight of the building, damping of response amplitude, restoring the original position after the earthquake. So these are the basic requirement for the base isolation devices. Now next is, this is a isolators. First is rubber bearing. So rubber bearing is also a very old and traditional method of base isolator, which is most commonly used in the buildings as a base isolating device. Okay, so this is a diagram. If you see that the rubbers is provided as a sandwich layer and steel is provided in between them. Okay, so weight of the building is being transmitted from that rubber, okay, through the steel, and if the earthquake force is acting, so it just move like a soft, okay, foundation. So structural stays still. This is a ground motion, if you like this. So this is a best example. In rigid structure, no displacement will takes place because of the ground acceleration, but because of the base isolating device in the flexible structure, there will be a ground displacement, but a zero acceleration will be formed. Okay, so this is a graph between the rigid and flexible, okay, structure. So these are the some of the base isolation devices which is most commonly used. Fixed base building, first example is there, which is a typically building which are most commonly used. Then this is an isolator building. Base isolator is provided, okay, in between plain beam and foundations. Then fixed base and isolation. Okay, so these are the examples. The building will try to move. Okay, then the concept of base isolation. So the concept is like this: if a gap between the building and a vertical wall of the foundation is small, and a vertical wall of a pit may be hit in the building when the ground move under the building. This is the hypothetical building. If you provide the building on a roller support, okay, so roller will try to move because of the earthquake shaking. Okay, so the entire building, the weight of the entire building and the whole structure will try to move. Okay, so these are the some of the isolating devices. Okay, this is a flexible pad type of provision is there in second diagram. Okay, so these are the best suited isolator which can be implemented in a building. Then the concept of base isolation. So it is explained through an example, and a building resting on a frictionless roller. When the ground shake, the roller freely roll, but the building above does not move, as shown in figure. So thus no force is transferred to the building due to the shaking of the ground, or simply the building does not experience the earthquake. This is the example. Okay, base isolation. Now if a same building is resting on the flexible pad that offer the resistance against the lateral movement, okay, then some effect of the ground shaking will transfer to the building, okay, above. And if the flexible plate pad are properly chosen, then the force induced by the ground shaking can also be few times smaller than that of experienced by the building built directly on the ground, namely as a fixed base. So the flexible pads are called as a base isolator, whereas the structure protected by means of these devices is called base isolating building. So the main feature of these base isolation technology is that to introduce the flexibility in the structures. Okay, so these are the some of the concept. You can go through that. Okay, lots of theoretical part is available, so we will concentrate the main part. Then the benefit of, or you can say that the applications of the seismic base isolation and energy dissipations. So it can be applicable to lead to the simple structure with less complicated seismic analysis is required. Then it is less sensitive with respect to the uncertainties in the ground motions. Then minor damages will occur at the design level. Then the performance of the isolator is highly predictable. Then in case of large expected seismic event, damages will be low. Then next is a basic element of the isolations. The first is the vertical load carrying devices that provide the lateral flexibility so that the period of the vibration of the total system is sufficiently lengthened to reduce the force response. Then the damper or energy dissipator so that the relative deflections across the flexible mounting can also be limited. Then the mean of the providing the rigidity under the low service load. So this is the, if you consider the factor of safety, the column strength upon earthquake force must be equal to 1. Then capacity must be equal to demand. So the earthquake causes the inertia forces which is proportional to the product of the building mass and the earthquake ground accelerations. Okay, and if it increase, the strength of the building and the capacity must increase to avoid the structural damages. So this is a typical example. So this is the next part. Okay, that is a type of isolator. The first is sliding system. So it is nothing but a layer with a defined coefficient of friction will limit the acceleration to this value, and the force which can also transmitted will also be limited to the coefficient of friction times the weight. So this is the example, sliding system. If you see that the second diagram, so the base isolation devices is provided, okay, to separate the superstructure and substructure. So in the plan level itself, at the foundation level, this isolation devices is provided, and connection between the plinth and well as the foundation will be carried by the base isolator. So the slider is provided, as if you see, the corner portion, and the multi rubber is provided at the intermediate portion. Okay, so how it works, let us see. This is a typical diagram. Okay, the building is supported by bearing pads that have a curved surface and a low friction, and during an earthquake, building is free to slide on the bearings, and since the bearing have a curved surface, the building is slide both horizontally and vertically. So the forces need to move the building upwards, limit the horizontal or lateral forces which would otherwise causes the building deformation. So also by adjusting the radius of the bearing curves surface, this property can also be used to design the bearing that also lengthen the building period of the vibration. Okay, so this is the example of the first case. So this is a typical cross section of the bearing system. Next is, and the most commonly used is elastomeric, that is rubber bearing. Okay, so if you see that rubber is the most commonly material which is commonly used as a manufacturing of a tire, okay, which also resists the resistance, okay, and frictions in the vehicles. Okay, so just like that, this elastomeric bearings is also used as a base isolator in the building. So it is nothing but a elastomeric bearing which is formed of a horizontal layer of a natural or synthetic rubber in a thin layer which is bounded between the steel plates. Okay, so the steel plates are prevented the rubber's layer from bulging, and also bearing is also able to support the higher vertical loads with only small deformations. So under the lateral load, the bearing is flexible. So this is the example. We can provide the damper and we can get the response, okay, of the damper. This is a typical experimental setup. Okay, then lead rubber pad is one of the example of the rubber bearing. So these are frequently used the type of a base isolation bearing, and it is made up of a layer of a rubber sandwich together with a layer of steel. So in the middle of the solid lead, a plug is there, and on the top and bottom, the bearing is fitted with a steel plate, which is also used to attach the bearing to the building and the foundations. So the bearing is very stiff and is strong in a vertical direction, but flexible in horizontal direction. So this is the attachment. Lead plug is provided in between, and on either side attachments of plates is there. This is a rubber layer on the outer surface, and on the outer part, and in between lead plug is there. So this is a typical internal cross section. Lead is there, rubber cover is provided, steel loading is there, okay, load plate is there. So this is a typical arrangement, okay. Third is spring, okay. So this is the application of a spring which can be provided as a base isolator, okay. This is also sustain very much of earthquake force during horizontal ground excitations, okay. So it works just like a spring that works as a brake system in a locomotive of railways. So let us see. So these are some proprietary devices which is based on a steel spring, but they are not widely used, and their most commonly application is for the machinery isolations. The main drawback is with the spring is that most are flexible in both vertical and lateral directions. So the vertical flexibility will allow the pitching mode or response to occur, and spring alone have little damping and will move excessively under the service loads. So this next is roller and ball bearing. So these include the cylindrical roller and balls, and for a spring they are most commonly used as a machinery applications, and depending upon the material of the roller or the ball bearing, the resistance to the movement may be sufficient to resist the service loads and may generate the damping. So these are the some parts, or you can say the theoretical parts of the roller and ball bearing that we have seen. So this is the example earthquake resistance house. If you see the diagram number 1, in second case, if you provide the base isolation, there will be no shaking on the upper structure. If you see that, then response of base isolation building. So base isolation building retain its original and rectangular shape and itself escape the deformation and damages which implies the inertia forces acting on the base isolation, okay, which have been reduced. And experiment and observation of the base isolation building in earthquake as little as 1/4 of the acceleration comparable with the fixed base building. That means it has the capacity to reduce the horizontal ground acceleration up to 1/4 as compared to the fixed base building, okay. Also, the acceleration is decreased because of the base isolation devices which lengthen the building time period of vibrations, and it takes the time for a building to rock back and forth and then back again. So in general, the structure with longer period of vibration tend to reduce the acceleration, and with a shorter period tend to increase the amplify of the accelerations. So these are the feasibility of the isolation. If you see that, okay, so these are the configurations. Thank you. Okay, so this base isolation is a earthquake application device, okay. Resistance device is most commonly used in general types of buildings like industrial, residential, okay, commercial buildings, okay. And this is a very important theory questions which is always asked in your examination under unit number 5 or 6, okay, and it carries 6 to 8 marks. So it is expected from us to it is expected from you that you have to solve or you have to attempt this theory questions and write step by step with a suitable and neat diagrams, okay. Thank you very much for your kind attentions. Thank you.